Hey there, TRASTRA fans. So you all heard this expression that Bitcoin is virtually unstoppable, right? Hell, even Putin said so a few days back.
Take Bitcoin, for example. Who can ban it? No one. And the use of other electronic payment methods, who can ban that? No one. Because these are new technologies. Regardless of what happens to the dollar, these tools will continue to develop one way or another.
But if you're a crypto-curious individual or hopefully follow this channel for a while, you know my view on Bitcoin's unstoppability. It's baloney, okay? It's BS. Any new tech can be prevented from penetrating the public domain in many ways, and Bitcoin is no exception. Authorities can revise their power supply strategies, cancel carbon credits, outlaw mining altogether, put restrictions on particular market practices rife with ambiguities and outright fraud, etc., etc. Actually, a more interesting and important question would be why they would want to, crash the brilliant upward wealth transfer scheme deliberately, but we'll leave that for another video. So there are many ways to kneecap crypto, and today, when Bitcoin claims a new all-time high of 107 plus and shows no apparent signs of slowing down, it's especially timely to talk about one particularly alarming trend: debanking. So what's debanking? Well, it basically is what it sounds. It's the process of a bank closing a customer's account that it deems pose a financial, legal, regulatory, or reputational risk. One example would be the closing of an account that is used in money laundering, and given that crypto industry has been notoriously prominent in this particular human activity, it's no wonder that debanking it and everything and everyone around it is a threat. But again, if you've been following this channel for a while, and if you haven't been, I wish you'd subscribe because you're clearly missing out. You know that TRASTRA was built to withstand that very impact. We've designed our platform to operate outside the old school banking choke points, and that's exactly what led us to our recent launch in Ukraine. Now, Ukraine is in a situation where its citizens are facing tight restrictions, banks limiting withdrawals, regulators controlling what you can and cannot do with your own money. Many Ukrainians have had to flee to the EU, and their finances are scattered, locked down, or simply on hold. So by launching in Ukraine with our euro-based services beyond the sphere of influence of the Ukrainian central bank and its regulators, we're enabling people to regain financial freedom, which for many Ukrainians is about literally accessing and managing their own funds when they need it the most. So if you caught episode 136, you'll remember we talked about Marc Andreessen's appearance on Joe Rogan's podcast. We focused mostly on his stance toward AI, but Andreessen's also touched on the banking industry, quietly edging out major crypto startups, effectively debanking them. Elon Musk chimed in after the podcast. His comment on X shows he's paying attention to the same 30 startup figure Andreessen mentioned. Brian Armstrong of Coinbase joined this chorus, never missing a chance to pour buckets of dirt on Elizabeth Warren. They all seem to agree the traditional banking sector is pushing back hard against crypto, and they're using debanking as a silent sledgehammer. Now, you may say that pushback is as unethical and un-American as Armstrong, Andreessen, Musk, and many prominent crypto founders do, or view debanking as simply business as usual in free market. Your choice. But let's be honest, this is how the system works. Party against party, lobby against lobby, all duking it out economically, politically, in the media, until the fittest take the top. In this context, debanking may feel like underhanded tactics, but in a market as radicalized as crypto, where some call it a Ponzi scheme and others view it as nothing less than a savior of global finance, it's all part of the great capitalist struggle for dominance and the right to exist. In fact, the US elections showed us that crypto is no longer a fringe movement. It's a major financial and political force. Over $130 million was spent by crypto interests in those elections, rivaling the usual big spenders in big pharma or big defense. We've talked about that in episode 135. Here's a link to it. Check it out. So with this kind of money, influence, and momentum involved, of course, there's gonna be some pushback, and debanking might be the first major skirmish in what will become a long, drawn-out battle over the future of finance and the place crypto takes in it. So as we move forward, expect debanking to remain a powerful and potentially destructive tool wielded by those who want to keep crypto at bay. But also expect crypto to adapt, grow stronger, and find ways to survive without needing a traditional bank's blessing. Frankly, I'm not sure if it's even possible, for crypto to survive long-term without relying on banks for liquidity, but time will tell. Today, though, TRASTRA stands as a living example of that adaptability. With us, you don't need a bank at all. What you do need is a very basic set of documents and a smartphone. That's basically it. And once your account with us is verified, you get your holy trifecta. A wallet for 7 major cryptos, a TRASTRA payment account with a personal IBAN included, and a MasterCard branded virtual debit card for shopping and cash withdrawals at NFC-enabled ATMs worldwide. And now with TRASTRA's help, Ukrainians inside Ukraine and abroad can regain control of their finances no matter what the traditional gatekeepers say or do. With that, let's go through some of the major crypto headlines this past week in episode 137 of your beloved TRASTRA Newsreel. The U.S. state of Texas introduced a bill in the House of Representatives to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve. The proposed bill aims to strengthen the state's fiscal stability and allow it to accept Bitcoin for taxes, fees, and donations. Jesus Christ. BlackRock suggests that 1 to 2% portfolio allocation in Bitcoin to be considered a reasonable range in its recent report. I'll link the report in the description. It analyzes a hypothetical portfolio with 60% stocks and 40% bonds. Fascinating read for anyone who's plugged into this thing. Tether's USDT has been approved by the Financial Services Regulatory Authority as an accepted virtual asset in Abu Dhabi. Well, it's United Arab Emirates. So state licensed companies in the region can now provide pre-approved USDT services in the United Arab Emirates. The New York Department of Financial Services approved Ripple Labs RLUSD stablecoin. It's pegged 1-to-1 to the dollar, and exchange and partner listings will be available soon. Australian Superannuation Fund, AMP, revealed that it invested $27 million in Bitcoin in May 2024, around 0.05% of its total assets under management. It's the first major Australian superannuation fund to take such action. MicroStrategy, what do you know, purchased 21,550 more Bitcoins for $2.1 billion in the week ending on December 8th. The firm now holds 423,650 Bitcoins. That's more than 2% of the capped 21 million supply. In addition, the firm will soon be included in the NASDAQ 100 index. Hong Kong is expected to speed up the licensing process for crypto trading platforms, including the Securities and Futures Commission's plan to set up a consultative panel for licensed platforms in early 2025. The Bank of England now requires firms in the region to disclose their current crypto asset holdings, future plans, and application of the Basel framework to manage crypto risks by March 24th, 2025, aiming to aid the authorities in the development of crypto policies. And we already talked about Ukraine a little bit. So the country plans to legalize crypto in early 2025 in coordination with the National Bank of Ukraine and the International Monetary Fund. Standard taxation rules similar to securities trading are expected to be applied under the framework. We'll see what happens. El Salvador and Argentina signed an agreement to strengthen digital asset industries in both countries. El Salvador is also discussing similar agreements with over 25 other countries. Here's an interesting one. Analysts at JP Morgan raised price targets for 4 Bitcoin mining stocks to reflect value from the miners' electrical power assets and Bitcoin holdings, according to a December 10th report. Quote from the report, we previously valued Bitcoin miners based on the 4-year gross profit opportunity for each operator. Now we're expanding upon this framework by incorporating 1, the value of each company's land and power assets, read carbon credits and all that. And 2, a HODL premium, which gives miners credit for holding Bitcoin on their balance sheet like MicroStrategy. I don't know if it makes sense for miners to mine Bitcoin and then hold it on their books. I mean, how are they going to pay for the electric bill? Anyway. And finally, fascinating news in my view. Crypto ETF issuer Bitwise predicted that at least 5 crypto unicorns will go public in 2025, including stablecoin issuer Circle and crypto exchange Kraken, so-called crypto bank Anchorage Digital, analytics firm Chainalysis, and crypto exchange Figure, it's called Figure Markets, are the other 3 firms expected to launch IPOs next year. Isn't it hilarious how things work out? just coming full circle. Back in 2017-ish, when ICOs were all the rage, the crypto crowd was busy celebrating how blockchain technology could bypass traditional fundraising and IPO red tape. I remember those times vividly. The narrative was all about revolutionizing capital markets, no Wall Street, no gatekeepers, just the raw simplicity of tokens and crypto. Wow, ICOs were the new IPOs, or so the mantra went. I myself, a humble freelance tech writer at the time, produced dozens of articles on the topic, and let me tell you, before ChatGPT, it was no easy feat to write the same bullshit for different clients all the time. Anyway, fast forward to today, and look at what's happening. The same pioneers of the We're Different movement are lining up to go public the traditional way. Exchanges, stablecoin issuers, crypto banks, entities that once rolled out the red carpet for blockchain fundraising are now taking the long walk down the IPO aisle. What was once deemed archaic is now their golden ticket. It's paradoxical and deeply amusing, like watching someone swear off coffee only to jump on the cocaine wagon. Anyway, I'm going to stop here. Thank you so much for watching. Just make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel because we put out those videos fairly regularly. Also, follow us on Twitter. Follow us on pretty much every social media out there. And specifically, I want you to follow us on TikTok because this is where we keep our short ones, the short videos that are more concise and much more entertaining. With that, thank you so much for watching again, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.